Hey everybody, welcome back to the Captain's Coffee. Thanks for joining us today. My name's David, and today we're going to be giving you our full, complete guide to the AeroPress and the AeroPress Go. If you've never brewed with the AeroPress before, today's tutorial should give you everything you need to know to get started with it right away. If you're like me and you've been brewing with it for years, stick around. I think you're going to learn something new. We did a ton of research and testing for this video, and I now have a whole new appreciation for what this little brewer can do. So today's video is going to be divided into 3 parts. First, we'll be talking about what exactly the AeroPress is and how it compares to other brewers. The second part, we're going to be talking about the variations and styles and how the methods of brewing with the AeroPress have evolved over the years. And then finally, we're going to leave you with our favorite recipes so you can get started brewing with it right away. I really hope you learned something new today. I hope you enjoy this. Let's get into it.
The AeroPress was invented in 2005 by Alan Adler, the owner of Aerobie, which primarily makes flying discs, kind of like frisbees. He wanted a better, faster way to brew a single serving of coffee, and after over 15 years, I think it's safe to say he nailed it. The AeroPress is made out of extremely strong and durable polypropylene. This is my AeroPress that I've been brewing with for 5 years. It's been used hundreds of times and dropped more times than I'm willing to admit, and it's still going strong. So the AeroPress is what's known as an immersion brewer, meaning the coffee is extracted by fully submerging grounds in hot water until the user removes the grounds. Other immersion brewers include French press, cold brew, and cupping, which is the standard way professionals evaluate coffee samples. The other main brewing method is called drip brewing, where hot water is poured through grounds in a constant flow until the user stops adding water. Drip brewers include automatic drip machines, as well as manual pour-overs such as the Hario V60, the Bee-House Dripper, or the Clever Dripper. Comparing immersion brewing and drip brewing is kind of like comparing apples and oranges. Sure, they're both fruit, but both are quite different, and it's okay to like both for different reasons. Immersion brewing is simpler, easier to control, more straightforward. It typically brings out more body and mouthfeel than drip brewing, and it offers the flexibility of brewing a good concentrate, which you can then bypass or dilute for a more standardized coffee experience. Think espresso versus Americano. Drip brewing is typically more difficult, at least when using a manual pour-over, but drip brews tend to do a better job highlighting the coffee's brightness and enhance more subtle flavors that can be lost in immersion brewing. The unique thing about the AeroPress is that it can brew really quickly, in as little as a minute, unlike other immersion brewers that brew in 4 to 5 minutes. This results in a cup that has the body and mouthfeel of immersion with surprising brightness and flavor clarity. It's a very flexible brewer that gives you the control to decide what coffee characteristics you want to bring out in the cup. So what's in the box? The AeroPress comes with everything you need to start brewing with it right away, except of course the grinder and the coffee. In the box, you'll find the brewing chamber, which comes with built-in markers for reference, and the plunger, as well as the filter holder and a pack of filters. These microfilters come in packs of 350, and they're really inexpensive, cheaper than most drip and pour-over filters. Next, there's a scoop for when you don't have a scale handy, as well as a helpful stirrer, and finally a nifty funnel to help load coffee into the brewing tube. The AeroPress Go has most of the same parts, though the stirrer is foldable and comes in a convenient package you can use as a mug for the ultimate coffee drinker on the go. The main difference is that the Go holds slightly less water, which really is only an issue with one style of brewing, but we'll get more into that later. So who's the AeroPress for? Well, the AeroPress is for anyone who loves coffee and wants one of the best and most flexible immersion brewers out there. Secondly, the AeroPress, and especially the AeroPress Go, are perfect for travel and camping. Since they're more durable than glass or ceramic brewers, they can go anywhere and take a beating. They also have a very small and light profile, making them forgiving for backpackers. Alan Adler's original intended use for his invention was to make a single or double espresso, which was then diluted with water for an Americano, or you could add hot milk for a latte. I'm putting these words in air quotes because there's some misconception here. You see, brewing an espresso requires an absolutely enormous amount of pressure, far more pressure than we can produce with this system. What Alan was really making is a concentrate, so we'll take the heart of his original intent and clarify it a bit by adding style to the end, i.e., espresso style. So in order to brew the AeroPress as Alan intended, the recipe is really simple, and you can find it in the instructions inside the box. First, put a filter in the filter cap, twist the filter cap onto the chamber, stand the chamber on a mug and add 1 rounded scoop of fine ground coffee into the chamber. Shake to level. Add 175-degree water to the 1 mark on the chamber. Stir for 10 seconds. Insert the plunger and press gently. For espresso style, drink as is. For American coffee or latte, add 8 ounces of hot water or milk. Give it a try, see what you think. Since the gadget's released, baristas the world over have taken a shine to the AeroPress and quickly devised alternate brewing methodologies. The most common difference in these early years was using more water in the chamber and not diluting the result, as in brewing the entire cup all in one go. This standard method is still very common in lots of cafes today. Additionally, baristas added a few common brewing principles such as rinsing the filter, increasing the brew temperature for better extraction, and timing your brews for repeatability. In this case, a typical recipe would be insert a filter into the filter cap, rinse filter with hot water, stand chamber on mug and add 17 grams fine ground coffee to chamber, shake to level. Add 240 grams of 200-degree water. Remember that when it comes to water, milliliters and grams are the same. And stir vigorously for 10 or so seconds. After a minute and a half, push gently until empty. Drink as is. Another big discovery baristas made while experimenting with the AeroPress is called the inverted method. Whether you choose to brew Alan's espresso style or the full cup standard method, inverting your AeroPress has huge benefits. The basic concept is that you brew with the gadget upside down. Set the plunger into the chamber up to the 4 mark, then flip it over and set it on the table upside down. Now your coffee goes in the top, your water is added, and the recipe can be followed as normal. Once you're done all the stirring you needed and add the rinse filter and filter cap on top of the chamber, push down gently to remove the excess air. Now place your mug on top of the filter cap and with both hands, flip the entire thing over and plunge as usual. This method has one major advantage over the standard method. See, with the standard method, coffee begins dripping out of the filter cap as soon as you begin adding water. While it might not seem like much, that few drops of coffee will be extremely under-extracted and not tasty, which will get added to your final product. It may not make a huge difference, but controlling the entirety of your brew from beginning to end is what it's all about, right? While it may seem a bit daunting at first, you'll master the inverted method in no time, and we recommend using it no matter what style of coffee your goal is. It may surprise you to learn that since its invention, the specialty coffee community has started taking the AeroPress pretty seriously. AeroPress even sponsors a yearly World AeroPress Championship competition. You can visit their website yourself and see the winning recipes from every year as well as second and third place recipes going all the way back to 2008. We'll leave the link to that site in the description below so you can check it out. Looking at these recipes, you can see a clear evolution of brewing style as baristas and judges have begun to understand the AeroPress better and better over the years. The current meta style is a hybrid of Alan's original and the more common standard full cut methods, and after trying nearly all the recipes myself, I can clearly see why. It embraces the AeroPress as an immersion brewer with drip-like attributes. The winning baristas from 2019 all made big concentrates and then diluted the solution to balance the best the AeroPress has to offer. So now it's time to share our findings after taking a deep dive into the AeroPress and drinking enough cups of its brew to give even the most seasoned caffeine drinker a nasty case of the jitters. We're not really going to leave you with a best recipe ever, since everyone is different and likes coffee a different way. Instead, we're going to give you our favorite go-to recipe, which you can use as a template, a starting point on your AeroPress journey, as well as some principles on how to change it in order to create the perfect cup for you. So first, the coffee. You'll need 30 grams of the coffee of your choice, ground medium coarse. On a scale of 1 to 10, with fine at 1 and coarse at 10, we're looking for a 7. Next, heat your water to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Using the inverted method, add your coffee and 100 grams of water to the brewing chamber and start your timer. Stir vigorously for 10 seconds. Once a minute and 15 seconds have passed, grab your mug and flip everything over. Gently press the plunger for about 30 seconds for a total brew time of 1 minute and 45 seconds. This should produce a concentrate of about 65 to 75 grams. Add 120 grams of your remaining hot water for a total of 185 to 205 grams of total brew. Now let's talk about the principles of the variables you can change in order to make the cup your own. Increasing the grind size will result in more fruit and acidity in the cup at the cost of body. Obviously, lowering the grind size will give us more body, but we'll also have a flatter cup. Working with the grind is the coffee amount. A finer grind will need less coffee, because if we use the same large amount of coffee with a much finer grind, we're going to get way too strong of a concentrate, and it'll be way too flat. Conversely, if you choose to grind your coffee more coarse, you want to increase the amount of coffee in order to balance how much more difficult it will be for the water to extract the coffee. Next, we'll talk about your water temperature. Decreasing your water temperature will result in more body and more mouthfeel at the cost of less brightness and less acidity. It may also be more difficult to pick out some of the distinct flavors in the coffee with a lower water temperature. Increasing your water temperature will have the converse effect, up to a point. We really don't advise using water that's hotter than 205 degrees. Finally, we talk about dilution. Diluting your coffee will give you a lighter and brighter cup. Diluting it more may make it too weak, and it could start to feel thin and tea-like. Conversely, lowering the dilution and keeping your concentrate more concentrated will result in a stronger brew with lots of body, but it may be more difficult to distinguish some of the finer and more subtle flavors in the cup. One last final recipe before we go. As a tribute to Alan and his amazing gadget, this is our favorite way to brew espresso-style coffee in the AeroPress. Try it out, see what you think. So we're going to start with 18 grams of coffee, ground fine medium. Once again, if 1 is very fine and 10 is very coarse, we're looking for about a 3. You'll also once again need water heated to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, we're going to use 2 filters, because more fine coffee can result in a silty cup if not all of it is caught in the filter, and adding a second filter really helps with this. Once again, be sure to rinse your filter. Once you've got your AeroPress inverted, add your coffee and 100 grams of water. Stir vigorously for 10 seconds. At right around a minute, you're going to want to flip it over and go ahead and start gently pressing. Should take you around 30 seconds to press. At this point, you can enjoy your espresso-style concentrate as is, or add up to 160 grams of more water to dilute the coffee for more of an Americano-style drink.
So there you have it, our complete guide to the AeroPress, everything we've learned about it over the years. If you learned something new, if you enjoyed this, please leave us a like down below. Subscribe if you'd like more coffee guides in the future, and comment down below what your favorite AeroPress recipe is. Because there is no best recipe, the best one is the one you like best. Let us know what that is, we'd love to try it. Thanks again for joining us, and happy brewing.